As is traditional, we start our awards presentation with two awards that go not to products, but to inspirational photographers. The first is the Amateur Photographer Power of Photography Award. And this award is sponsored by GFK, and I'd like to ask Matthew Gibbs to come up onto the stage to help me to present this award. When we travel abroad and to places we've not been to before, we see new sights, experience new thrills, and notice new things. That everything is new makes creating images that seem interesting and exciting all the easier. Because on every corner and every turn, our eyes land on that which we have never come across before. The same is true of war zones, areas of natural disasters, and parts of the world where current affairs make subjects obvious, however difficult they are to access. At home, it's more difficult to see where the pictures lay. They hide behind the everyday objects, people and places we've seen so many times before. To make interesting and exciting photographs of the familiar requires a special skill, a special way of seeing, an inquisitive eye, and an ability to identify the story in the seemingly mundane. That makes me laugh every time I see it. The recipient of this year's Power of Photography Award is a photographer who is expert in exactly this field. Born in Rangoon in 1947, this photographer didn't arrive in the UK until he was 2 years old. After studying psychology at Newcastle University, he moved to London in 1971 to pursue a career as a freelance photographer. And he became a full member of the legendary agency Magnum in 1982. Despite covering conflicts and stories all over the world, he is still able to come home to photograph the lives and antics of everyday people with fresh vision and amazing skill. This award is not for the 4 trips to Afghanistan, and neither is it for his books on Tokyo and Beirut, nor for his solo exhibitions, of which there have been at least 23. This award is for his 40-year project that documents England and the English, and which culminated in the book published last year called England, My England. In this almighty record of life within our shores, Chris Steele Perkins brings together the broadest of social groups. The city traders rub shoulders with stoned hippies. Teddy boys and boxers sit next to Glyndebourne picnickers. Striking miners, toffs at the summer ball, Maggie Thatcher, poor kids doing gym in their pants, and Hampshire cricketers in their sparkling whites. From front to back, the 4 decades are drawn for us as though we were still there, with conflict, sadness, tragedy, and celebrations of everyday lives in a nation of extraordinary people. In his foreword, Chris writes, "It has been interesting for me to see some themes emerging as I started to put this work together. Themes that haven't always been consciously pursued, yet echo those so important to English art. The absurd, violence, family, homelessness, humour, loneliness, identity, and the grotesque. They don't dissect and analyse these conditions and situations. They do what photographs do. They describe and particularise them. They maybe heighten them if the photographs have been successful. And, like a mosaic, if you take enough pieces and stand back, a larger picture begins to emerge. Some kind of truth can be reached from the sum of the parts, an honest testament to this odd and redoubtable country, the England of the people, the country to which I owe so much, my England." Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage to collect the Amateur Photographer Power of Photography Award 2010, Mr. Chris Steele Perkins.